You want to be in this one, Ted? Say hi, bubba. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm doing a couple more shorter videos. I realized the last couple of videos I did were like almost 15 minutes long, so I know nobody wants to hear me talk that long. So I'm gonna spare you a little bit, but hopefully give you a little bit of knowledge here. I've been doing a lot of research on cars. Well, no, sorry, not cars. Trucks, electric trucks that come in under 50,000. Now, why pick the 50,000 number? Well, there's only two if I do 40,000, and that's not a good video. Also, I think 50,000 is like it's a lot. Like, that's a lot to spend on a car. You can get two reasonably priced cars for that much used. Well, not now, but in a normal market. I'm almost rambling here, but what I'm trying to say is I think with a $50,000 budget for an electric vehicle, you kind of need to be that high unless you want like the bare minimum. Here are a couple trucks under $50,000 that I think are going to be pretty popular and a great option if you're looking to go electric but keep a truck within the next 2 years. Now, I want to kick it off with a truck that recently came across my plate, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's one of the coolest looking trucks, especially I drive a Jeep now, so I love kind of like the vibes of Jeep, like the adventurous outdoor style. And I think that the Wolf and the Alpha Wolf, they look sweet. They just had a recent unveiling that got a lot of hype. That was the first time I saw it, and I really like what they did with the car. Now, will that be available within the next 2 years? Fingers crossed, because I think so. They're a U.S. truck brand, so that should capture a lot of the truck audience. I know that's very important to a lot of truck drivers. The best part is how affordable this is. They have a base that starts at like $35,000, maybe 36, but that is just pretty incredible if you ask me. There's a lot of questions of if they can meet demand and if they'll be able to produce. There's a lot of truck startup EVs right now that I actually purposely left off this list, but I have a feeling that these guys can do it, and I can't tell you, I can't really back that up, but fingers crossed on it because I think it's a cool spec car right now. So Alpha Wolf and the Wolf, they have two different models. Even the Alpha one, still you can clock in at under $50,000. If they can do that, I think it's going to be a really, really cool option for some people, maybe even including myself. Two, let's talk everyone's freaking favorite in the whole world is the Cybertruck, right? This is technically, there's two different models that are going to be spec'd at under 50K, the dual motor coming in at 49. So if you can really get it at that and you don't need any upgrades, hell, that's under 50K. So, I'm not going to talk about the single motor because they said they're building that last, and they've already pushed back the tri-motor and double motor. So the fact that we'll see a single motor anytime soon is like impossible. It's impossible. Maybe I'm being a pessimist, but you're just not going to see one within at least till maybe 2024, I would guess. So this one comes in at the very tip of that $50,000 budget. But it's a whole lot of car. You get Tesla's, peace of mind when it comes to electric vehicles. Everyone else I'm mentioning here, it's one of their very first electric cars, if not the first electric car they're producing. So keep that in mind. And that's why I think there's over 1.5 million people who have reserved the Cybertruck. It's a cool, big utility car that can handle your whole daily life. You can look cool. You can say you have a Tesla. All those like consumerism things that you like about it are there. And that's why I think there's such a big high demand for the Cybertruck. Within the next year or two, I think it's an awesome one. I'm going to spend the least amount of time talking about this one because you probably already know all about the Cybertruck because it's everywhere. And it's cool and it's awesome, and we'd all probably get one if we could because, man, that's pretty cool. Number 3, the one that I talk about more than anything else, is the Ford Lightning. Now, because we're doing only $50,000, there's some interesting caveats here. We got to only talk about the Pro model. And based on what I've seen, Town and Country TV, I think is the name of the YouTube channel, who has, I think, one of the only videos I can find showing the interior of the Pro, and it has me reconsidering the Pro. Let me tell you, this thing looks awesome. There's a couple oddities that I've noticed with it, like the fact that the Pro has, I'm going to do a whole video on that, actually. We'll do that next. Anyway, the Pro model, hopefully there will be some upgrades, and you can, you know, maybe get like an appearance package or some sort of like enhanced inside, like maybe you could upgrade the seats to like, I don't know, even like the sports cloth or something other than vinyl, even though the vinyl does look pretty good, don't get me wrong. All that being said, I think the Pro is like a really good option, but it might be the same thing of Tesla's single motor, that they might not make a lot of them. I've heard a lot of people say that, like they might not even make a lot of the Pros this first year. I'd counter argue that with one of the biggest targets that I think Ford is going after is fleet vehicles, where they're selling this Pro to. So I think they're going to try to sell a lot of Pros to fleets to get them popular, to get more businesses for B2B sales buzzing about the Pro and getting people converted to that electric pickup truck. Now, because of that, maybe that means less Pros for consumers to buy, but I have a strong feeling that they're going to try to push a lot of the Pros onto businesses just for, you know, setting the roots for upcoming years. It's just a good marketing move. All right. And then I'm keeping this to just 4. There's a bunch of other spec cars that I don't really want to get in the weeds with, but the last one I'm going to talk about is the Silverado. This one has me scratching my head a little bit. Who knows what Chevy is going to end up doing with this? I think the biggest appeal to this, I have a hunch that it's going to actually come in at a very low price point. I think they're going to have to compete really hard with the F-150, and the best way to do that is going to be to come in at a lower price point, because I've looked at the specs, and right now, as is going to be really tough to, if you go spec to spec, to want to choose the Silverado over the F-150, unless it's just like a brand allegiance thing, which is totally fine if that's what you want to do. You know, I don't see it really. So I have high hopes though that they'll change. I have a high hope that the specs will change over time. And because I have a hunch that they're going to do like a lower price point with the Silverado, it could make it a very popular decision. If they go at the exact same, like, you know, trim levels as the F-150, but with lower specs, as it looks like it might be now based on what's leaked or what people are talking about, then it just, I don't get how people will choose the Silverado. Hopefully that changes. They have a little more time because they haven't announced anything yet. And then finally, honorary mention goes to Rivian. I would love to see the price come down on that. They just have a really cool build right now. It's futuristic. The inside is just awesome. They've got one of the best looking cars out, right? EV trucks out there. It's really sharp. I think they did a great job. It's just a little too expensive, I think. It's fairly priced. Don't get me wrong. Like, for what you get, it's fairly priced, absolutely. But to compete with the other cars I mentioned in the next coming years, they're going to need to lower that price. And, you know, they're just going to have to lower the price. There's really not much more to say there. For people like me to consider it, I think but that being said, if that is your budget, that 70-ish range, because I think like the base is like 65 maybe, and then you need a couple upgrades, so like just under 70, that might be a cooler spec. It's tough, you know, like a F-150, if you have like $70K to spend on an F-150 Lightning, that's going to be pretty decked out. But like, while we're talking, like, let's just keep talking, right? So I think I said I'm going to keep this video short. Yeah, right, Larry. I just want to caveat this whole video. Everything changes when all these cars are just available. Like, I have to kind of skew my thoughts and everything based on like what I think will be happening based off of like what's been leaked or what companies have like slyly announced. So this video is going to be totally different when you can get in your car, go drive, trade in that car, and come home with a new, you know, whatever, electric vehicle. Right now, you can't do that. You just got to spec out your pre-order and hope you get a car within the next year. So like for that reason, if you could go to the Rivian dealer, drive one of those, and then go pick up any of the 3 trim levels of a Cybertruck, that's like a way harder decision. But right now we're going on like specs of both. So who knows what people will decide. And I can't wait to keep all these videos coming when we get more tangible cars out there and more test drives and that kind of stuff, because we're at the very, very beginning of like EV cars in general. Like we still are at the very beginning, and I'm just very excited about what's going to happen, and who's going to be the first to like break certain milestones of like, I don't know. It's cool. Hopefully you think it's cool. Yeah, thank you guys for subscribing and being part of my channel. Thank you for letting me ramble on these videos and only being kind of mean in the comments. I don't know. I'm going to leave. Thank you guys. I'll see you.